What's going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam back again with another film breakdown slash player preview, team preview, whatever you want to call it. The team that we're focusing on today, the LA Chargers, the LA stepchild of sports in terms of football, has made two pretty decent signings the last couple of days, but I think they have flown a little under the radar due to the other high-profile free agents being signed. The first one, of course, Linval Joseph, and then Chris Harris signing a few days later. Or it might have been the next day. Can't really remember. But what I want to dive into a little bit is how these two guys are going to fit into that defense and why I think they are pretty good signings. I'm much higher on the Linval Joseph signing than I am on the Chris Harris signing, which might be a little bit of a surprise, but I am a trenches guy. I'm an O-line guy. If you don't know that, now you do. Big O-line guy. Really quick, everybody, editing cam popping in here. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to Jackson Kruger Sports for letting me put my stuff on his channel. If you don't, you should definitely subscribe to Jackson Kruger Sports. Great guy. Been able to talk with him a little bit more. Good human being. Good dude. I still don't know where he lives. I still don't know what he's about, but I know that he's a good dude every time I talk to him. I know that he puts out content basically every day. I know that it's good content too. It's quality. It's not bad content. It's good stuff. It's stuff you want every day. It's like vitamins. You want to take them every single day. So with subscribing to Jackson Kruger Sports, you're also going to want to subscribe to the Hook Cam, my channel. I don't put out content every day, but I tell you what, when I do put out content, it's good content. I can guarantee you that. That's called guarants. So, with all that being said, let's dive in to what Linval Joseph and Chris Harris bring to the LA Chargers. First things first, Linval Joseph is going to be right here playing this one tech. Really, it's a 2Y. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, one tech is on the center. We got in the A gap, right, if we want to call it, and then we have a 2I, which is going to be on the inside shade of the guard. That's also called the G technique. This is Linval Joseph, right? And Linval Joseph is a massive human being. He eats up space, he eats up double teams, and he's perfect as a true one technique for what the Chargers want to run. Now, in this situation, we got wide zone getting dialed up here from the Atlanta Falcons, right? And they're trying to stress everything this way. This actually might be just how they're running inside zone because they want to create a seam in this defense right here. But either way, this is kind of the focal point of this blocking scheme, right? We need to get movement. We need to get turned on this guy so we have a lane. We all know that you're probably not going to move Linval Joseph. So he does a good job here, but Linval Joseph, you can see this dude's head is being bent back like a Pez dispenser. That's because he's got his arms extended and he's into the backfield. Really great rep from him, really just creating a roadblock right in the middle of where that running back wants to run. Now, this is a little bit of a unique play, but again, on the goal line, this is your classic goal line defense, right? Pretty much dialed up like a bear front, and then you've got your backers behind it. But this is just a man play from Linval Joseph. He submarines the center and then gets up off of his knees to make a play on this thing. I'll run it back one more time. Boom, he's on his knees, right? Because what happened is they down blocked everything and then they pulled a guard. I personally am never a fan of pulling a guard on the goal line. But he gets down there, right? He's trying to submarine the center. Center goes down block. He ends up getting down block from the guard. He's at the bottom of the pile. You can see him right here. Pops up off his knees to make a play on that. Just an outstanding play from Linval Joseph in that situation. Definitely something that you like to see if you're, signing this cat to your team. So here we are again. Now he's playing a true one tech on the center. And again, he's just such a big presence. He's so difficult to block. And this is Alex Mack from the Falcons. And Alex Mack has been in the league for a minute. He's drafted out of Cal to the Browns a while ago. I loved watching him in college. And Alex Mack does a good job squaring up with him. Now when he gets to this point, we got to get vertical with it, right? Well, Linval Joseph isn't going vertical, man. He's going to go where he wants. He does a good job getting skinny. So now as an offensive lineman, we're pushing on shoulders right now. That's tough to do. He's not squared up with us, so we can't get movement vertically. We're pushing on his shoulders. He turns to get to that edge, and now he's just kind of playing peekaboo with this running back, and he ends up getting a hand on it. Great job by Linval Joseph. Good rep, and that's against a good center like Alex Mack. Here we have just another inside zone from the Seattle Seahawks, and again, Linval Joseph is 30. But he doesn't move like he's 30. This is a great rep from him. Quick swim move on the center. And then, again, just creating a problem in the middle of this offense, right? This guard kind of gave up on the play. Not a great look from him. I'm sure that he had other good reps this year, though. He's got to scoop that and get to this side of him. I believe that's Mike Iupati, another really good football player who's been in the league for a minute. And Linval Joseph just kind of stays with this play and ends up making a play on the running back for a minimal gain. He's not He's not like and it's we have to understand the different types of one techs and true nose tackles, right? There's as a true nose tackle, you want a guy like a Vince Wilfork, right? Who's going to eat up space, who's going to two gap, who's going to basically eat up the middle of that defense, and that's really what Linval Joseph brings. I just think he's a little bit more, maybe more athletic, maybe more explosive, which is why he ends up playing in this one technique so often. Here we go again. Now we're trying to work a down block from this center, or excuse me, from this guard onto this, and he just does a great job of squaring up with him, getting his arms extended, getting this dude, his shoulders are now square to the line of scrimmage, as to opposed to a down block where we want to move this guy into the defensive backfield. And now we're creating a problem. We got Travis Kelce and we got 74 right on us, right? We just created a pile. That is a great play from Linval Joseph, and something that the Chargers are very much so going to look forward to. The Chargers, of course, let go of Brandon Mebane, who was kind of taking over that position for them in the earlier part of the year, or excuse me, all of last year. He was their one tech, and I think Linval Joseph may be a little bit more athletic than him. Definitely a good fit. However, Linval Joseph is 30, but still, he's got a lot of good football left to play. Here we go again here with Linval Joseph against the Chiefs, taking on a double team, and again, we're just staying pat, right in the middle of this thing. This is a great job from him, and what I love about it is look where his hands are, right? We're hanging on to this center and not letting him get up to that second level, and we're just pushing the pile, trying to create a pile for that running back so that he can't have a clear spot to go to. Now, moving on to the second signing for the Chargers, the other guy that they brought in is Chris Harris. Chris Harris has had some great time in Denver, and he's also 30. Two older signings from the Chargers. However, I still think that they have good football left to play. Here we just see a really simple vertical route out of the Bears. Chris Harris does a good job flipping his hips, turning with him, running with that receiver, and then being able to knock away that back shoulder ball. Again, no flag thrown on this thing, just a good all-around football play from him, getting his arm out, hanging on to that receiver, not in a way that you would get a flag, and then also making that catching point a contended spot for him. And there's this weird misconception that Chris Harris is like a slot corner. I think that that's just something that was pushed by Madden, to be honest with you. He, in every snap I watched for the Broncos, was their number one guy. When they played the Texans, he was matched up with DeAndre Hopkins every snap. He's a guy who you want to line up against the other team's best receiver, and you want to have your best shot at being able to shut him down. I think Chris Harris is an above average corner. Do I think that he's truly elite? Probably not, but I still think that you're going to get a lot of really good reps out of him. This is a good example with Chris Harris, right? Again, he's matched up with the number one receiver who's going to stem him out vertical, and then he's trying to break this thing in right behind the backers and sit. He does just that, breaks it in, tries to sit right behind the backers. Chris Harris closes on it, and he's an opportunist with that interception. Probably not the best ball, but the fact that he's there and in that position, I think, is what's more important. And again, just for those people who want to think that Chris Harris is a slot corner, this is DeAndre Hopkins. If you haven't heard of him, he's pretty damn good at tackle football. He's going to motion across the formation, and Chris Harris is going to run with him the entire way. That means that that's his guy. He is the number one corner. Now, what I like about this play is it's a really quick screen to DeAndre Hopkins, a quick smoke screen. We like our numbers here. We got 2-on-2. Chris Harris is going to take off on this play as soon as that ball is thrown and make a tackle. I just think this is a good hard-nosed football play. I kind of see the narrative now with corners is that I don't care if my corners can tackle. I tend to disagree with that. I think that the game is moving so much more to the edges of this thing, out by the numbers. You need corners who can tackle. You need a good corner who's going to be able to wrap up and not let this thing get outside, which is exactly what Chris Harris does. If this corner can't tackle, who knows what DeAndre Hopkins turns this ball into? It could be for a lot more. So now we're should be moving into where these guys fit in with the Chargers defense. Now, with the Broncos, they run a lot of cover 3, which is exactly what the Chargers run. It's kind of funny how the AFC West, in a way, mimics each other. They're all going to run a 4-3, and they're all going to run a cover 3. Chris Harris, he can fit in on either side, obviously, depending on what they see with him, if they think he's a field guy or a boundary guy. If he's man, then he's going to obviously match up with whoever the best receiver is on whoever they're playing that day. So in this situation for the Chargers, though, we're getting a cover 3 look out of them. This is very, very common for the Chargers, and I know for those of you who might be saying, well, coach, we're pressed up at the bottom here, very popular to the boundary side of a cover 3, right, to the short side of the field, for you to press up with your corner. That's very, very popular. So Chris Harris would fit right into this due to the amount of cover 3 that they ran in Denver. And again, we're talking in the NFL, every corner should be able to run everything in this situation, but just kind of showing you how the Chargers think and how I think that he would fit in. I think that he would step right in. I don't think there'd be be a huge learning curve, I guess is what I should say, because first off, he's been in the league for 9 or 10 years, and secondly, the Chargers do run somewhat of a similar defense to what they do out in Denver. Now, up front is where they're a little bit different, and I just wanted to show you guys this clip because some of you might be saying, well, Cam, we only got 3 down linemen here, right? But I think that we treat this as a 4-3 because of this cat who they've got down in a 2-point stance. Melvin Ingram does this all the time, right, where he's down in a 2-point stance. He's basically treated as your 4th down defensive lineman. Now, Linval Joseph would be taken off right here. And again, he's just a space eater, right? We're going to try and get these double teams on him. We're going to try and get movement on him. Linval Joseph does a great job of staying even. He's great with his hands, getting low. He's also 300 plus pounds, and he's tough to move, and I think that he would fit right in with this Chargers defense. And to be honest, guys, I like what the Chargers have done so far. I think that they've made really good moves. I think they were probably in on the Brady sweepstakes, and unfortunately they couldn't get that deal done. But, I see them taking a quarterback probably early in this draft unless they can sign somebody, or if they want to roll with Tyrod Taylor, do that. And they could also draft a tackle at 6. This is a very, very deep class in terms of good tackles. There's 4 or 5 who could legitimately be drafted in the top 15. So the Chargers have a lot of ways to work. I think that these 2 signings were very good from them, and they filled some spots of need. And I think that I do see the Chargers bouncing back next season and having a much better year than what they did last year. So guys, with all that being said, I'm the Hook Cam. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, a big time thank you to Jackson Kruger Sports for letting me put my stuff on his channel. He's the man. Great human being. Great guy. Been able to talk with him a little bit more. Super stoked to work with him. But with all that being said, guys, that's all you got. I'm sure I'll be back with some more trades later in the day. But until then, stay safe and have a good one, everybody.